Imagine a simple disagreement spiraling into a fog of self-doubt. When does a heated argument cross the line into psychological manipulation? This is the invisible line between healthy conflict and gaslighting. A disagreement begins with a simple observation: you left the dishes in the sink again. But the reply is not an apology or an explanation, it's a denial of reality. I never leave dishes. You're imagining things, you're too sensitive. Over time, this pattern erodes a person's sense of self. They begin to doubt their memory, their perceptions, even their sanity. This is not a bad argument. This is gaslighting, a systematic pattern of psychological manipulation designed to destabilize the victim's cognitive and emotional foundation. In contrast, healthy disagreement, even when heated, respects each person's reality. The difference is subtle but critical for protecting mental health and maintaining authentic relationships. Understanding this distinction empowers individuals to recognize manipulation before it takes root. The term gaslighting comes from Patrick Hamilton's 1938 play Gaslight, later a 1944 film starring Ingrid Bergman. In the story, a husband dims the gaslights and then denies the change, insisting his wife is hallucinating. This deliberate act, changing the environment and denying it, is the archetypal form of gaslighting. Psychologists adopted the term in the 1960s and 1970s. Victor Kalev and Edward Weinschel described it as a mechanism where one person projects unacceptable impulses onto another and then attacks them for those very impulses. Robin Stern, associate director of the Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence, defines it as a form of emotional abuse and manipulation that causes someone to question their own reality, memories, and perceptions. The concept has evolved from stage drama to a recognized clinical phenomenon. Why is gaslighting so effective? The answer lies in neuroscience. The human brain relies on social validation to maintain a stable sense of reality. Research shows that the brain's reality testing systems, particularly the prefrontal cortex and hippocampus, are highly sensitive to social feedback. When a trusted person repeatedly contradicts your memory, your brain experiences cognitive dissonance. To resolve this discomfort, you may begin to doubt your own version of events rather than doubt the relationship. This is not a sign of weakness. It is a biological response. The brain prioritizes social belonging and relational stability over factual accuracy. Gaslighters exploit this vulnerability by creating a persistent mismatch between your internal experience and their external denial, systematically destabilizing your grip on reality. Before identifying toxic patterns, we must understand healthy disagreement. Conflict is inevitable in any close relationship, but the goal is not to avoid it, it is to engage productively. Healthy disagreement has core characteristics: respect for reality, emotional regulation, willingness to repair, a shared goal of understanding, and curiosity. Both parties acknowledge basic facts, even if they interpret them differently. Emotions may be intense, but personal attacks and contempt are avoided. John Gottman's research at the University of Washington found that contempt, sarcasm, eye-rolling, mockery, is the single best predictor of divorce. After the conflict, both individuals are open to apology and reconciliation. The underlying purpose is to solve a problem or understand each other better, not to win or dominate. Healthy disagreement strengthens relationships rather than destroying them. Gaslighting is not a single argument or a moment of poor communication. It is a pattern of behavior that unfolds over time, with the goal of gaining power and control by destabilizing the victim's sense of self. Unlike healthy disagreement, which seeks resolution, gaslighting seeks domination. The gaslighter denies reality, minimizes the victim's feelings, and shifts blame. Common tactics include lying, withholding information, trivializing the victim's emotions, and using the victim's vulnerabilities against them. Over weeks and months, the victim begins to apologize for things they didn't do, feels constantly off balance, and doubts their own sanity. This systematic assault on reality is a form of emotional abuse that leaves unseen scars, eroding the victim's confidence and autonomy. How can you tell if you are being gaslit? Look for patterns, not isolated incidents. Regularly feeling confused, anxious, or doubting your memory is a red flag. A gaslighter frequently denies things they said or did, even with evidence. They might say you're too sensitive, that never happened, or you're imagining things. They isolate you from friends and family, and they twist conversations to make you feel responsible for their behavior. In contrast, healthy disagreement allows for apology and growth. Key questions to ask yourself. Do you feel safe to express your perspective? Does the other person respect your feelings even if they disagree? Trusting your own perception is essential. Gaslighting thrives on making you doubt that very trust. If you recognize gaslighting in your relationship, the first step is acknowledging your own reality. Keep a journal of events and conversations to validate your memory. Seek support from trusted friends, family, or a therapist who can offer an outside perspective. Set firm boundaries. I won't continue this conversation if you deny what I know to be true. In some cases, distance or ending the relationship may be necessary for your mental health. Remember, gaslighting is about power, not truth. By grounding yourself in your own perceptions and seeking validation from reliable sources, you can resist the manipulation. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect for each other's reality, not on one person's need to control the other's mind. If you found this exploration valuable, consider reflecting on your own relationships and the quality of your disagreements. Understanding the difference can transform how you connect.